Hello, hope everyone's doing well. We are here today with some more Magic Gathering, and I have a new deck build. It's kind of a build that you might have seen before, or at least similar to online already. Now, it's not run that often, but I always thought this was kind of a cool build to try to play. And with the cards Goldspan Dragon and Magda going to be rotating soon, I wanted to get in, and the Seeker's Chariot, I just want to get in a little bit more gameplay with them before they hit the rotation. So I went with this Grull Treasures build, and I think that we have a pretty solid deck that should be fun to watch. Now, I hope everyone's been doing well. I know it's been a little late getting on, but I'm still working on trying to get the some of the add-ons to be a little smoother when doing streams, so I do apologize for being a little late here. But today's deck, like I said, we are going to be doing Grull Treasures. So our goal today is that we are going to be trying to make use of the Magda Brazen Outlaw, and doing the Jasper Sentinel combo, but also have the Seeker's Chariot combo there as well. Our goal is to just get a whole bunch of treasure, be able to ramp out, be able to get our Helena and Alina to pump up our board. Chariot, we can pull it from the deck through Magda if we have enough treasures to sacrifice, or we can also just pull out Goldspan Dragon straight from our deck, thanks to the Brazen Outlaw. Now, the whole goal is that we're just trying to play these treasure cards to be able to just immediately pull these threats from our deck, but also just to give us that little bit of ramp to just go into all of our important 4 and 5 cost cards as well. We use some big scores here just to be able to give us a little dig action, and I think we have a deck that should do well. We'll hop in the game to see how it works. How you doing there, Hench? Nice to see you. Hope things are going well for you. Just double check the headset working properly for the audio. Don't want to accidentally blow out my ears because of how things go. My music's driving me out a little bit. Let's see. Thanks for the heads up on that. Let me take a look at my mixers here. Oop. How's the audio now? Is everything good now? Well, things are going well here. We're just getting started for the stream, and we actually have ourselves a pretty solid hand. I think this is everything we kind of hope for in an open, so we'll definitely keep this. Oh, good to hear that the audio has been balanced better. When I use this newer streaming program, it seems to come in a little quieter than some of the other ones for once when it wants to read my mic, and I'm not sure why that is. But we get ourselves a great ability to swarm the board. This is only turn 2. And not only did we get Sentinel on 1, Magda on 2, but we're able to bring out Questioner on 2 as well. Alright. I think I'll just go for Fable of the Mirror here. We'll attack with the Questioner. The opponent does a chump block, that's fine. I want to save the Dragon's Fire, so when our opponent does a creature that enters the battlefield, exiles something. Yep, see, Just what I was waiting for. Now, it doesn't matter which one they're going to exile. We are going to kill that with Dragon's Fire before it can do the exile. By killing it now, we actually prevent them from removing our token from the board. I'll just keep both of these, because we're going to send in an attack. We'll activate the big score. It will eat up a treasure, but give us 2. We'll play the land and pass it back. Tamiya's safekeeping is great here because it allows us to protect anything. So even if they go for something to exile like the Fable, we can actually protect it while it's still in this enchantment form, which is what's so great about this. Oh, we'll let that one go. Because next turn we can just activate Magda for creating a treasure, grab ourselves a gold span straight from the deck. Interesting. So, opponent looks like they're mono white, but I'm surprised to see Rafine's Informant in it. Got a more unique build. Alright, they discard Athalia. We'll bring Innkeeper to the board. That'll give us treasure number 5. So we'll sacrifice all of them. Get ourselves good old Goldspan Dragon. We'll attack in and pass it back to the opponent. I'm fairly confident we have the win here. Because even if they bring out like another Brutal Cathar, we can just activate and get rid of it. Okay, and they're just going to pass the turn. If I was the opponent, I probably would have swung in with the Informant. Alright. Copy the Goldspan. Go for combat. Attack with both of these. And now we can just tap Magda at any time. And we can get the 5th treasure. Off the 5th treasure, we can go fetch a Seek's Chariot or another Goldspan Dragon. And yep, that's the opponent scooping it up there. I'm not entirely sure what the opponent said oops for, maybe because they realized that they probably should have attacked, but that seals up that match. Alright, that's a great performance from game 1. Now, they were mono white, they didn't run as fast as mono white possibly can, but we actually managed to have the answers for them sealing up our cards, so I didn't feel like we were in that much pressure against them. Alright, this is a little bit of a dicey keep, because Boseiju is a legendary, so we can only have one in play anyways. It'd be great to be able to keep it because partners are amazing, so is the Seek's Chariot, but that is no play until turn 4, so I think I'll hit Mulligan. Alright, it's a little bit better. We'll keep it, we'll put a land on the bottom, we'll make it the Forest. Okay, so we get a Questioner, which we can bring out on 2. This way, if the opponent destroys it, we can get ourselves a treasure token. If they counterspell it, well, it's just gonna feel a little bad, but Alright, Tainted Indulgence for our opponent. I actually think this is just a very good draw spell in general. Alright, bring this on green. We'll move the combat and attack in first. See if they respond. No response. We'll attempt Fable. Alright, they let Fable resolve. At this point, we should be able to get ourselves Goldspan Dragon out next turn. If they sweep. If not, we go for partners. Damn, there's the land that we were looking for. Just thinking, I think I'll give up a Dragonfire here. Alright, we got backup partner, so we'll dedicate one partner right now. Alright, counterspell from our opponent. What is our opponent doing now? Alright, so they're going to exile a card to deny us the attack treasure. And they discard Invoke Despair. I mean, exile and Invoke Despair. Alright, and they cast one. It does answer everything on board, but we do get a treasure. Go for the dragon. Let's see. Next turn we get to bring down partners. I don't bring it down right away just because if they do another, if they do any sweeper action, don't want to give them the option to get rid of it. Alright. Attempt partners. Attempt chariot. Alright, the opponent's going to memory deluge here. We're going to set it up so that way the opponent's going to have some kind of sweeper to stay alive here. Because we're going to give the Seeker's Chariot haste and 2 counters and do 10 damage here. Okay. So, as long as the opponent doesn't have a... You know, that's probably a reason I should have actually put the counters still on Goldspan and just maybe held the Seeker's Chariot. Is because if they had a Meat Hook Massacre, they could have done it for 4 and ended me there. Like, all my momentum. But they didn't, so we don't get punished. Kind of put them in a they had to have it or they lose situation. Hope everyone's doing well. Alright. After this match, we'll take a small moment to take a look at some of the newly released cards. And we'll just, like, do a card between each match. Unless there's a request to maybe, like, vary it up a little bit more. Alright. This opener, though, unfortunately we don't really have any action here, so I think it's best for us still to hit Mulligan. It's like, we have a good number of lands, we do have big score, so I guess we could keep it, but I think it's better for us to Mulligan. Alright, I'm going to try keeping this. It's a little greedy. It's actually a lot greedy, but it's still better than that last hand. Try to think though, do I give up the Goldspan or the big score here? I think I'm gonna give up big score. Delver's Secrets for our opponent. go for the Veil first. So that way next turn we can attempt Magda. Depending on what the opponent plays. I'm worried about getting hit by a counterspell. I'm gonna force him to have it. Okay, so they don't have it. Is it gonna be the white-blue aggro deck? So probably see the 2/2 double. I'm sorry, the 1/1 double striker for 2 come down soon. All right, another Delver. No box. Go with this on red. We'll send it an attack with Magda. Alright, opponent, what do you do? Alright, they take 2. I'm just gonna pass. They have more spells that can counter a Seekish Chariot than they do Goldspan Dragon. So I'd rather go for the Goldspan Dragon next turn, which is why I'm saving the treasure here. That's a pretty good draw. Problem is, they have lots of spell protection from target removal, so it's not super amazing, but we might be able to catch them with it. Alright, but let's it resolve. We'll go to combat, get some beats in, get some more treasures. Okay, they're going to Swirling Mist. We'll spend the treasure, do safekeeping, so that way we can get an attack in for more treasure. If they just tap it down so that way they don't take the hit, that's fine. That means they'll be tapped out, we can actually kill one of their aberrations. Don't need to do any reveal here. And now it doesn't feel like we're falling behind on the amount of damage we're taking. Alright, our turn. Let's go for the Goldspan. From here, we're just going to try to play out the hand. What do you have, opponent? Alright, they're going to double Swirling Mist here. So, downside to this, they're no longer considered on the board for purpose of the treasure production. So, if I choose to sacrifice them, I can play the Seekish Chariot if I didn't play the Sentinel here, but I'm going to go for Sentinel. That way, if I feel like I need to block this, I can. Because the opponent could do a bunch of spells, potentially, like cantrips, and pump that up a bunch. We'll offer the block. Just to soak damage. Attempt partners. Attempt chariot. Now, opponent could still march us for like another 4 cards, but that's gonna be fine. Alright. Crew this up. Move to combat. And this is actually threatening a lethal hit here, isn't it? Because 4, 8, 10, 16. Yeah, 16 on the dot. Alright, opponent's going to slip out the back there. In which case, we'll just put the counters on Magda. And unless the opponent has a sweeper in their deck, we have lethal. I mean, I guess they could potentially get another march here and slow us down, but nope, that's it. Yeah, and the great thing is they couldn't even really attack him with this aberration because this is reach. First strike reach would kill that. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of the new Dominaria spoilers, because I'll be honest, I'm really was interested to see that this is a spoiler from a page that likes to update them as soon as they find cards that get revealed. And as you can see, there are a bunch of new ones that have already been added to the list. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited about was that they have the Weatherlight completed here as a card that they spoiled. Now, it's a very unique card, and I'm actually terrified of this thing because Weatherlight completed is a vehicle that can't be crewed normally. It does require like other creatures to die, but the thing is, we currently have that land in the format that allows you to spend 3, tap it, and just activate a vehicle and turn it into a creature. So at any point in time, you just have this 5/5 flyer that only costs you 2 mana to put on the board. But the other effects from this is that, so the important thing is, this is whenever it has 4 or more of these Phyrexis counters put onto it, it then becomes a creature that's also Phyrexing in addition to its other types. So it actually then becomes a 5/5 flyer. But for you to get those counters on it, you have to have creatures you control die. And when they die, you get to put counters on it, and you also get to scry 1. The moment it has 7 or more counters on it, it's just straight draw. So it's a very solid card in general. And since it's only 2 colors to put on the board, it can be run in any deck. Now, I'm not going to say it should be played in any deck, but it does make it that way. Like if you have a small aggro deck, you may consider this just to go with the idea. Your opponent goes for a destroy board wipe. Well, this turns on the Phyrexia, the Weatherlight completed here, and you get a whole bunch of scry to dig off the top of your deck to find more threats. So I think this here is going to be an amazing card when it eventually comes out. Now, I'm not sure how much it's going to see in the competitive queue, but like I said, I think there's ways to use this. And we might see more decks potentially just use that land that allows you to just play pilots or vehicles as if it was mana of any color and activate to crew this. Now, that's just I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing, but I think this we'll see play. All right. Well, that's like I said, we're going to go 1 card at a time here, and I have a whole bunch of things queued up to go over that are recent spoilers that I think are really cool to look over. But we'll jump back into another game. Is it anyone else actually been keeping an eye on the spoilers for certain cards that you're excited about from the new set? I mean, we only have a couple weeks until it releases, so. Alright, on the open, it's a little bit of a slower hand because of the must-be tapped land here. But it's got a lot of early response, so I think we'll keep it. I think I'll still just go with this tap first. That way, if our opponent is some kind of aggro deck, we have the ability to go for Dragon's Fire really early. We'll bring out Innkeeper first. And pass it back. Alright, Luminous Aspirant. That must die. Ooh, and we draw a land. That's perfect. That means that next turn, we can play the Goldspan Dragon. It's also great because we'll have the Dragon's Fire to support. Oh, you are so rude, opponent, with that Elite Spellbinder. Alright, we'll just pass it back to the opponent. We're going to use Big Score, probably just discarding the other Big Score here. While it's a shame that we missed the land drop opportunity, I just don't want to give the opponent a chance to interact with our board. Okay. Use the Big Score right now. Discard. Alright, we got a whole bunch of lands. Bring out that Goldspan. And with Tameo's Safekeeping, we have the ability to protect it from removal. We could also just use Dragon's Fire to kill if they like bring out another Brutal Cathar to bring it back to our board. Our opponent plays a Thalia. That taxes our spells, so we can't play Dragonfire right now. That's fine. Bring out the Sentinel. Go to combat, swing in the air. Pass it back to the opponent. Our opponent's going to Spellbind another card. I'm not sure which one they're going to take here, but we'll just let them grab the card. It puts two mana cost tax on it, but we already have enough mana with these treasures that it's not going to be an issue. We'd also sacrifice this Jetspirit Sentinel to block Spellbinder. Alright, let's bring out the Fable. We'll send in both of these, because I'm willing to trade an Innkeeper for a 3-1. Opponent's turn. We have enough mana that we can actually play Dragon's Fire and still also use the Safekeeping, so I think we're still in a great position on this board. Alright, Brutal Cathar for our opponent. I'm just going to kill that right away. Because I'd rather hold up the Safekeeping. At this point, the opponent can't really, attack in and threaten us with anything, because while we can take the 2 from the Thalia, that's fine. Discard this. Alright, Field of Ruin, let's go. Let's destroy the red source. Maybe they don't actually have a mountain in their deck. This way, if the opponent, is relying on all the mana fixing that they have there to play like their like I'm pretty sure they're running partners themselves. So I figure trying to see if we can get the destroy on the land there to work out. Alright, so Moonrage Brute goes to nighttime because we didn't play anything, but the opponent could double spell here to try and turn it back to day, but we have... Oh, you see, there's the partners I was worried about. But they don't double spell here. We can take their hit and swing back for lethal here. They don't have... I mean... Partners themselves can block, but that's their only blocker. We have to block the partners. We have Reflections and Goldspan here, so we effectively have two 4/4 flyers. But it has to do something really impressive to stop us. Alright, Spellbinder just taxes the safekeeping, that's fine. And there they go, they scoop it up. Even if they played another creature spell to get this to flip, it doesn't matter what they target, we can protect it with safekeeping and we have the win. Alright. We took down, basically it was Naya humans there. Alright. And between games, we're going to go over another card that they have spoiled here for the new set. Now, since we just played against white, let's go ahead and review a white card. They have shown this new enchantment called Temporary Lockdown that I think is going to be a really strong card for anyone who's running control. Hey there, Risho, how things going? But as I was saying, Temporary Lockdown is going to be one of those cards that I think white players are going to be loving a lot to have as answers against aggro, because enters the battlefield, you get to exile each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less until Lockdown leaves the battlefield. So, oh, you managed to hit gold 3. Congratulations. I hope that you're able to maybe push into the next stage there of Platinum. If you do, you get more packs for reward. Let's see, how much time do we have until the season ends? I think it's once when the set comes out, right? Yeah, season ends in 8 days. Actually, it's a little bit before the set comes out. Yeah, so as I was saying about the new card here, Temporary Lockdown, I think this is going to be definitely a big card for the format. Let's see, no matter how many times I give that blue-white deck a chance, it doesn't want to work with Forming 7. Yeah, that is sometimes the case. You can have this deck that is technically part of the meta. It's an amazing, powerful deck. But no matter how many times you play it, you just can't get the cards to draw right. So it's just that's just luck of the draw sometimes, and it is unfortunate. So there is a whole thing about like when you're playing decks that it's like deck build can sometimes be an issue when you're testing them out. But yeah, that's exactly it. When you get the cards just right, it's an amazing deck. But I just realized which one's this is it. It's not gonna be this. I just realized that the text viewer is coming in really small. Try to see if I can maybe make the text larger for chat. It doesn't seem to want to do that. Let's see, turn or 4 or 5, and yeah. Well, that's the thing is, it's when you're all in on one card idea, it's a matter of do you draw the card and do you have the proper cards to support it. And sometimes does your opponent have the right answer that you don't have the protection against? So it is one of those things. It's an amazingly powerful deck, but it does have its flaws, and sometimes you just can't push it through. But I wish I could get the chat to be larger though. The settings on this new stream thing not making sense on how I resize that. Here's a weird thing. The thing for my stream is indicating that I can randomize the text size, but I can't find the actual just straight up adjusting text size. Oh wait, here it is, here it is. Let's see how large this comes out. Oh, I missed it. Actually, there we go. That's good size. People can actually read that one now. Because originally it was coming in so small that it would be hard to read. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and actually get into what we're here for, right? More magic stuff. But, oh yeah, this is also one of those things about temporary lockdown I found interesting. If you look at the art, it has these, like, fingers coming on top of the card. I'm not sure if that's going to be, like, a special card art variant, or if that's just how it's always going to be, but I just thought that that's kind of interesting, and I'm wondering how many cards they might be doing that with. Alright, well, we'll jump back into the games. Yeah, no, I think it's a really cool detail. Alright. Well, we'll jump into the next game. So far, this deck is performing really well. If you are ever interested to see how our matches are going with any of our decks, you can always check out our Untapped.gg profile. There's a link to it. I'll show you all the win-loss ratios for all of our decks. And if you scroll down, you can find Grull Treasures, and currently we are 4-0 with it. And if you want, here is a link directly to it. Okay. Now let's take a look at the game. Let's see. This hand is not a keep. It's too risky with only 2 lands here. We'll hit mulligan. Okay, this is a pretty keepable hand. We'll keep this one. Question is, what do I put on the bottom? Do I get greedy, put a land on the bottom? Do I put Tamiyo's or do I put Dragon's Fire? I think I'm going to put Dragon's Fire on the bottom. I'm going to hold up the Tamiyo's. Gonna lead with Bugbear since it's going to come and play tapped if we wait on it too long. And this way, if we draw a Lair of the Hydra, we can play Lair of the Hydra for our green source and play Prosperous Innkeeper. Alright, didn't happen. But I want to lead with Innkeeper since that way our opponent has the less chance to snatch up the Magda when we put it on the board. I know we miss out on treasure generation by not going immediately to Magda, but we apparently are against white-black, so I do think it was a good call there to do that. Alright. Angels. Okay, Angels is going to be tough because I currently can't just attack into that with Magda to generate a treasure this turn. And they hit Righteous Valkyrie as well as first angel. Oh, it's Clerics. Someone's trying to enjoy some Clerics fun before they rotate. Should probably do some of that as well. Like, Cleric Pyre was a very fun deck. Alright, so since we have backup Magda in hand, I think we're going to go ahead and get a little greedy here. Send the whole team. Now, I could have saved the Magda there, but I'm actually not sure really what was the best call. I was trying to see if I could maybe get them to trade against Bugbear. Alright, Elite Spellbinder for our opponent. I'll be honest, it's kind of an awkward hand that we have against this opponent. We don't have any of our ability to tap Magda to be able to just keep generating treasures. I'm going to hold this land in hand. The reason why I want to do that is that way we can... Yeah, let's see if they're willing to trade for that. I'll trade that. But if we draw a big score now, we can use it to discard the land, get some card draw, get ourselves to our 5 treasures. Because we need to get something aggressive against the opponent before they can get up to the life total, which they're going to get to because they attack with Aura. Aura is going to give them that push over. Let's see. I'm trying to think, like, what can we do? We could animate Den of the Bugbear. Be able to block and kill Aura if they attack with it. Choose not to attack with it. Seeing it 1 life away from their goal, so I guess they're fine. Ooh, there's a great draw. Gold spam to the board. We will attack with both of these. I'm sacrificing Magda because I'm going to just sacrifice the treasures to get ourselves another card to the board. Because I think we need to get gold span number 2 to the board. We do push the opponent over life. Well, actually, no, I think what we do is we actually get ourselves a Seekish Chariot. The reason why I want the Chariot is because the Chariot can potentially allow us to push around what's on the ground. Voice of the Blessed. That's a problem. Is there a way for us to come back in this? Oh, by the way, hello, Izzy. I do see you there. You got your Discord is slowly starting to get bigger. Oh, nice, nice to hear. I saw that you made that post about the game that you're planning on playing. hadn't set my vote in yet, but I do think it's going to be interesting. Alright, let's activate Bugbear. Crew like so. Send the team. Create a token. The goal is hit the opponent down low enough that they no longer have that +2/+2 bonus. We'll protect Chariot here. Yep, and we unfortunately cannot push enough damage through. So we'll go ahead and give them the GGs because we don't have anything we can do to survive now. That is a shame, but that is the power of Righteous Valkyrie. Like, not the power of Cleric, just Righteous Valkyrie. Alrighty. Well, we're between other games, so we'll go ahead and take a look at another card that has been spoiled for the format. And let's see here. We just went over Temporary Lockdown. So, this is a card I think a number of people may be interested in, which is Stronghold Arena. Now, Stronghold Arena is a great card for all the black aggro decks, especially if they're really low to the ground on their creature costs. Because even if you don't have green or white splash in the deck to gain the 3 life for kicking this card when it enters the battlefield, you do have that whenever one or more creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, you may reveal the top card of the library and put it in your hand. If you do, you lose life equal to the mana value. This is basically extra draw value for those aggro decks. Now, it is only 1 card draw per combat because of how it's worded, but that's still fine. If you keep yourself low on those costs, revealing the card, drawing it, and losing the life usually isn't that big of a deal. But you can also go with the idea of you aren't necessarily that low on your costs. You could be going with a more mid-range strategy and use a number of cards that have lifelink, like you can use the Sorin, that's 4 cost, that attacked with 2/3 flying lifelink tokens. So that way you offset some of that life that you're losing. So I think this card will see play. I'm not sure how much because of the for specifically splashing green or white in it, but I think this card will see play. Actually, let me know what you think about that card. If you believe that that's going to be something you're interested or not. I do think it's going to be a good card, though. Alright. Back into the matches. Let's see, I think we suffered our first defeat with this deck since we started playing it. I think we're still going to be able to prove that this deck does really well in the long run, though. Alright. It's greedy, but I'm going to keep this one. Because we could, off of what we have in hand, play Halana, the partners, on turn 3. Because we go land, Innkeeper, even if we miss a land, we could play them out. Still don't want to miss the land. Alright, we hit the land. I think we'll go for partners. Just having this on the board means that if we go for a Seeker's Chariot, we can immediately crew up the chariot. Alright, go blank this card in. So we're in some kind of black-red control deck that's using snow sources, so we do have to be careful of the blood on the snow from our opponents. Alright. Bloodchief's Thirst does hurt. But we will strike back. Let's see. Grull. Now, if the opponent does like a meat hook here for 2, we still get to keep the partners. And we can use Fable here. Give us a better token to attack in with. But nope, that's enough pressure to cause the opponent to scoop up. Turn 3 partners, turn 4 chariot. Yeah, that's really hard to deal with. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Arusha. I'm trying to, you know, make it enjoyable for everyone here. My goal is just to try to make it, you know, a fun experience for everyone who shows up. And if people have, like, questions, I can, you know, help them learn more about Magic. And when it comes to spoiler season, I do like the idea of trying to go over some of the new cards that are coming out. Because it can be hard to identify what could be, you know, good cards that are going to be coming out. Which ones are going to be just, like, they sound cool, but they don't really do anything. Like, the next card I'm going to reveal, I don't think it's going to be impactful to the format unless there's a lot more revealed from the set. Because this card right here, Lagamos Warchief is just an uncommon. But I think this is actually an uncommon that if looks like we're going to be getting some Goblin support cards within the set itself, could be really cool and interesting to go a red-green Goblin tribal deck. And what's cool about this card is that it is a 3/3 with Menace that attack triggers to either allow you to take lands from the top of your deck and throw them straight into play, or you may choose to leave the card on top if it's a land, or if you can't reveal it, to put it in play and it's left on top. You're going to create a Goblin token and just be able to develop the board more. Radadrabic. See, I want to build the new zombie lord Radadrabic. I haven't taken a look at Radadrabic. We'll maybe go over that next card. But I thought that this was an interesting card, and since it's just an uncommon, it won't be that hard to build around. But that's one of those things I'm still like wondering, like, is this card going to be good enough to try to build around? Because it is 4 mana, so it is a little slow to get to the board, but it does give you the ability to ramp or generate extra goblins by attacking with. And since it has Menace, it is a decent card for attacking with because it's going to be having that evasive like situation where it's harder to block. So could be an interesting card to look out for. Oh, that card. I actually was going to go over that one. I thought it's not a it's not really a good lord in my opinion. Like, it does give your other zombie vigilance, but it's lackluster overall. I mean, I can go over the card more in just a moment, but we'll hit up another game. Because I'm trying to do this where we play a game, we reveal a card, play a game, reveal a card. But, yeah, no, I mean, I think the card is interesting, but I just don't think it's that strong of a card, because it requires really you wanting to play with other legendary cards, so it's not really good to play it as like a zombie lord itself. That's why I'm like iffy on the card. Although, with Mirror Box being in the format, who knows, maybe we could have a silly Radadrabic deck because of that. All right. Well, with this open, I think we have a keep here because we can go Innkeeper turn 2, turn 3, Chariot turn 4, Magda per Chariot, get tokens. Seems pretty good. We're just kind of waiting on our opponent at this point. Come on, Foley. What's taking you so long? Alright. They are there. They keep. We keep. Alright, we'll play this on green. Pass it back to the opponent. Alright, underdog for our opponent. Go for Innkeeper first. Let's see. I think it'll actually be better if we go for Chariot to Mirror Breaker. Because I think that'll probably give us the fastest level of token generation that we can ask for. Also allows us to discard excess lands if we keep drawing more lands. What does the opponent do? Opponent's definitely thinking things over with their 3 mana. See what you can do with Mirror Boss with Drabic and play a bunch of cheap but good legendaries and board wipe yourself. I mean, well, I was actually looking at the Drabic is great for being protection against board wipes because you'll get all those zombie tokens. The only drawback to Mirror Box with this idea is that the tokens won't get the +1/+1 bonus for seeing each other, but the advantage is that you can have multiple of the same legendaries on the board. So I do think that it is a deck build that we can think about, but I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. It's my only issue. Alright, another underdog for our opponent. Definitely took him a while to think that play out. We bring Chariot to the board. And we pass it back. Alright, they thirst the Innkeeper. I'll block 1. See what the opponent does from here. Alright, Trespasser for our opponent. That's okay. Because I can go Innkeeper, Fable, and start generating to the board. Tap these. Attack in. Another copy of the top. So next turn we have the ability to attack in with these, get ourselves 2 treasures. But I think I may just go with a double block kill off the Trespasser if they provide that as an option. No, I think it's better if we don't do that. Alright, they just passed turn. We'll discard these. If we only had a dragon, we could just deal with that glutton. We'll... Let's see here. Actually, discard Oseju. Play the Magda. We're going to ram our Asika's Chariot here into our opponent. Now, the question is, do I just straight make a treasure token? No, I think I'd still make a shaman. And that's enough to cause the opponent scoop up. There we go. Alright, we're in the top of the diamond tier with this. Let's see. Runner Drobic, I'm Historic or Explorer. And use Primeval's Glorious Rebirth. I need to remember how that card works. Return all legendary permanents from your graveyard to the battlefield. The only drawback with that spell is that you have to have a legendary card on the board to cast it. Because you have to have either a legendary creature or a planeswalker, and it does cost a lot of mana. It would be cool to see that resolve, but it would be difficult to resolve that. So, I mean, I wish you the best of luck with it. Maybe you find the new meta-breaking deck for the historic format. Let's see, Radabric, Mask with Nexus, and Edgar. Every time Edgar dies, make a copy of Edgar. Comes his coffin, and then you also have the token that's pumping all of the vampires on the board. That doesn't seem like a bad combo. In all honesty, I think you just because that would actually make it so all of the vampire tokens that it generates gives you those the lifelink and such. But since we've been talking about the card, let's actually show everyone the card on the stream here, because we haven't actually officially gone over the card. Let me close the annoying little pop-ups that come from this. So this is the card that we've been talking back and forth with Izzy about. This is Radadranik of Urborg. So it's a zombie wizard for 4. It comes with Vigilance and Ward 2, so it's got some self-protection on it. Other zombies you control have Vigilance, and then whenever another legendary creature you control dies, you gotta create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's not legendary and it's a 2/2 black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Now, because the token loses the legendary quality on it, it does mean that you can actually do some silly things with this. Because then you can have the token on board as well as another legendary copy of the card. So you can get extra value off of it. Now, it does also mean that if we actually mirror box with Radadrabic, and one of them dies, or both of them die, you'll actually get multiple triggers of that card to get copies of them. So it would be hard to get rid of them permanently. Well, I mean, actually, it's worded that it's whenever other legendary creatures you control die. So the fact that the token loses the legendary quality means that the token dying will stay dead. And that's when Nexus make it everything plus from Edgar, Vigilance from Red Bud. Yeah, I understand what you're saying with the Mask with Nexus plan there, with the Edgar mix, and that actually will be available in Standard without the Nexus. But like you could mix Rada Drabic with Edgar. Once when Rada Drabic comes out, and it probably still isn't a bad combo of cards. I don't know how. The problem is it's a 4 cost, so mixing those cards would be kind of hard to do because you have to then consider what do you take out to make room for it. But it could still be a lot of fun. If you want to go with the Nexus plan, you probably could go down into the Explorer format and try that out. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be too slow for the Historic format. But it could be a lot of interesting things that you can combo with this because of the fact that you get multiple copies of creatures that normally can't be on the board at the same time. Kind of like with Mirror Box, it can lead to some silly shenanigans. Alright, with that, we'll go back to our games. And let's see, where were we on the... Currently 6-1 with the deck. Our only loss has so far been to white-black players. Alright, on the open, this one has to be a mulligan. It's way too greedy to keep without a dedicated red source for any of this. Much better hand. We'll keep this. See, I also updated your Nalia deck. Oh, okay. That's cool. We'll maybe take a look at your improved Nalia deck a little later. Put Goldspan Dragon on bottom. Go layer the Hydra, go Mountain, go Questioner, and hope... Oh, there's another. Now, here's the thing. I think I might blitz the second one. Just that way we get the guaranteed 4th source, or just at least, get the draw value out of it. Alright, Tainted Indulgence for our opponent. That usually means there's some kind of Reanimator deck, but sometimes it's not the case. Alright, it is Greasebane Reanimator. So it's white, black, blue, green for our opponent. Sometimes they don't actually run green outside the Chariot, but... Do they have... Wow. Opponent just getting the perfect turn 2, turn 3 play there. Well done, opponent. So basically we're playing against the Explorer's, like, tier 1 deck. I'll actually block with this, and we'll go for just playing our Seekist Chariot. It forces the opponent to have to be able to do another looting type effect. But it also means that next turn we can, depending on how hard they come in, could respond with partners and be able to do a counterattack. We can do a Questioner Dragonfire, get Greasefang off the board. Alright, there's their dedicated green source so they can play Greasefang back to the board. Or not Greasefang, but their Chariot back to the board. Interesting. I'll actually block one cat. I actually should have just crewed Chariot. That's a misplay on my end. Alright. Play. Should have actually led with Dragon's Fire first. Reason why I should have led with Dragon's Fire first is that way they have a Spell Pierce effect. They can't use it on our Dragon's Fire. Now, I'm not sure what's they have. Okay. March. This is gonna be a little tough. Alright, another chariot trigger for more cats. No blocks. Unfortunately, we're getting a lot of lands here. Pass it back to the opponent. So their questioner can actually just crew the chariot by itself. Alright, there's still a lot of things our opponent could have. For 2 mana, that would be a problem for us. Alright, 3 mana means that they could always play another Greasefang back to the board. It'd just be an issue because of how many cats they have on board and can attack with. Alright. Just chariot attacks. We're going to crew up our chariot and use it as a block. Ages. Big Arena hates you. Been ages trying to hack a Contra and now haven't gotten one. Sorry to hear you're having some bad RNG there. I mean, Apatra is a cool card. I don't think it's a very competitive card, but I really do remember playing with it before, finding it fun. Alright, so we are on the defense here. The opponent goes for a Greasefang. We have the Dragon's Fire to kill Greasefang. But if they use the recursion spell for Greasefang, we're going to be in more trouble. Well, I guess not as much. Because they don't have second Greasefang yet. That's an issue. So Surge Hacker Mech comes down, it actually gets to deal damage, 4 damage specifically, be able to kill off our partners here. And they have the Greasefang. So we will murder Greasefang before combat. Murder this. They can use it still to screw Bank Buster here, which is enough to be lethal. If it wasn't for the fact that we lost partners, we'd be able to block here and survive, but sadly, they had just the right amount of answers here. But that's a person doing Greasefang combo and hitting it straight on turn 3. In order for us to have been able to recover from that, we would have had to have like a board wipe style card in our deck. Alright. On the open, it's a little risky keeping this hand, but I think it's a keepable hand. Alright. Wasn't happy to see that Channeling Gas come down there, but... at least when this dies, we'll get a treasure. Try to see if we can get the opponent to trade off their gas before we try to bring out our Magda. Now, I'm fairly certain that the opponent will block. Now, I'm not sure if they let this just straight die or not. Because I was going to say they could have just, you know, used the sacrifice spell for card draw. Let's go for a Chariot. Because turn 3 Chariots are just amazing. Let's see, from here we can go for the Fable. Oh, that's fine. We'll get ourselves another green source. Gold Span. Very nice for your opponent. So let's see, if we can top deck something that produces mana. Alright, not quite how I was hoping to do this, but we'll go ahead and bring this to the board now. I was planning on going for the mirror, but came off a mana short. Let's see, when we attack it, I'm actually going to try. Okay, so we don't get the opportunity. I was going to try to copy the treasure. Opponent's definitely hitting bombs here. Tap this. Let's see, which one are you? You're the one that deals damage, right? Yes, you are. Tap you. Go for this. Try to see if I can set up an Alpha Strike to be able to just deal that amount of damage to our opponent one go. But I think I'm going to end up coming up short just a little bit here. Let's see if we can actually find something that generates us. Let's see, even if we find anything that generates us treasures, it's going to come up short for what we need. Wow, blood on the snow. That's very rude. Alright, well, I'll discard this. Discard this. Go for Gold Span. Attack in. Innkeeper. Pass it back to the opponent. Okay, opponent has a gold span, but we're going to just murder that with our Dragonfire. Now we are in a little bit of trouble because of the Hive of the Eye Tyrant here. If the opponent had the ability to sacrifice and kill our Innkeeper, we would have been in a lot of trouble there. Now we have enough life, I think we should be able to maintain ourselves. Gold span 3 from our opponent. Nice. Good game, good game. That's the only card that I can think of that would be an issue. Like, if the opponent played another gold span, we're dead. If they played for a sweeper, we would be in a lot of trouble. But we'd at least, you know, still be able to play off the top of the deck. Maybe stay in it, but... That was a game of who drew more gold spans, and they beat us by 2. Oh, I need to quit hitting the button so quick. Because, like I said, I was going to try to, between games, go over new release cards. And we'll jump back over to here. So, we just went over Radadrink, and the next card, let's see, we just went over this. Now, I actually did go over this, and I was actually planning on leading this into another Goblin card. Because this looked like it was cool if there's Goblin support cards. And one of the Goblin support cards that I know some people are getting excited for is this here. Now, not only for the standard format this could be interesting, but for non-standard format this is going to be a very strong Goblin. So, 2 mana, you get a 1/1 Goblin that other Goblins you control get +1/+1. So, yeah, it's low on the stats, but it also has whenever this or another Goblin you control dies, you get to exile the top card of your library. If it's a Goblin creature card, you may cast that card until the end of your next turn. This means that if you manage to actually get a swarm of Goblins going onto the board, then you hadn't quite just reached lethal on your opponent, and they go destroy all creatures. Well, you get to exile a whole bunch of cards off the top of your deck, digging for creatures. So that's why I think this is going to be a card that will possibly be sought after for those Goblin players. And 2 mana Lords are always some of the strongest Lords that you can ask for. Because you just get them out there really cheap, really quick for all of your Goblins. And unfortunately, this hits the format right as a number of amazing Goblins rotate out. So for the Explorer League, this is going to be amazing. But I'm not sure how well it's going to do in Standard, because we're going to be losing the Hobgoblin Lord for 3 mana. But we also lose the 2 mana Goblin that has the Pack Tactics to generate you 1/1 Goblins whenever you attack with at least 6 or more power. But more importantly, that one you can mana dump to spend 2 mana, give all your Goblins +1/+0 and haste. With the loss of those cards, I'm not sure how much this is going to impact Standard coming in play. But this is still a card for other formats that I think is still going to be impactful and going to be a cool card. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be great in the Historic Brawl if you happen to be doing a Goblin style deck. And we actually have this able to be used as a commander if you so desire. So that's actually kind of a cool thing going on there. And I think that it's also one of those cases you could still potentially, because there's if you decide to do something similar, silly in the historic format, do like red-blue Goblins, you can always do like a clone deck and just keep cloning all of your Lords. Well, with that, we'll jump back into the games. Is there a delay on the text? I'm just making sure that if there was or wasn't, just because I wasn't sure when I'm looking at things, if they're going across at appropriate times when I'm talking. That's why I was just double checking. Alright. On the open, this would be amazing if it wasn't for the fact that you're double Boseiju. Because it's double Boseiju, I'm going to hit mulligan. Alright. This is not very good either. We'll hit mulligan one more time, and we keep this one. We're keeping it partially because it's just the best of what we've seen, but it's still not a bad hand. We'll put these on the bottom. I literally only run 2 Boseijus in the net, and it's always painful whenever I come across both of them in like a starting hand. Alright. Put Magda on the board, pass it back to the opponent. When will the Helm of the Hosts... This is a must for me. Oh yeah. Helm of the Host is such a fun card for duplicating things. But, Izzy, so you don't like the partners. What don't you like about the partners? Is it because they're just so powerful, or do you just not like the partners because of other reasons? Because I honestly think partners are a very powerful card. Alright, Righteous Valkyrie for our opponent. And we actually draw the partners. That's really great. So we go ahead, counters on Magda. This way we can attack in. The opponent cannot, you know, block it to save themselves some life. We can actually block with partners against Valkyrie. And we can also then kill the Valkyrie. Alright, they noticed we had the reach there. Alright, I'm gonna put the counters there. Attack with both. We only need one more treasure to be able to pull a dragon out of our deck. At this point, the opponent's thinking, do I offer a block or not? And they decide not to. We have him down to 8. I think we just pass it back. So it might be a mistake doing that. Instead of just immediately killing Font of Hope, which I'm going to do now. This way they don't get the extra counters on their Overseer. And they won't get like the extra life because it would come into play with 2 counters on it. They gain 3 life for the Angel here. So yeah, there we go. Let's see. So Izzy, you don't like it because mainly because when it becomes Avatar, people could obtain, people started acting like... That's let's see. So the reason you don't like the partners, mainly because when it comes to an Avatar, people could obtain, people started acting like, being like, haha, has 2 people in it instead of like 1, and would play it. Decks that wouldn't let me do anything. Oh, okay. You hate it because the you just didn't like necessarily facing against people who are using Avatar. Not necessarily that you have a thing against the card itself. Got it. It's an interesting reason why to hate a character there. Because when it comes to the profiles, I just kind of don't really care which avatar I'm using too much. I just kind of use this one because we unlocked it, so I figure, hey, you know, he's the nice big welcoming cat demon, so that's why I chose him. But there's a lot of interesting avatars that you can choose from, as you can see. So there's a host of them that you can choose from that, you know, you may think that it kind of represents more of your mentality on how you like the game. It was an interesting... Why is this floating here? It's an interesting bug. Well, in any case. Let's see, so we just finished the game. Well, let's go ahead and pull up the spoilers. Let's see. People who would use the avatar would be finding any other players. Yeah, Hinch, I understand the giant like Cheshire Cat grin like thing. It's fun to do that. Sorry to hear that you had some issues with players apparently acting that way there. I hadn't had too many people I come across that made themselves definitely a issue based on their avatar. If anything, if there's an avatar that I find most problematic, it's usually Teferi.
I'm not going to sit this
Why?
one.
Because if you see Teferi, you almost know, like, it's a 90% chance it's a control player that's playing hard control. That's the only reason why I sometimes hate coming across Teferi as avatars.
Tit for tat. Break that rule, and I break you.
Oh, you're talking about Johnny the cat? Wait, does Johnny actually have a smile? I thought he had more of a... I mean, a grin? No, he's kind of a stoic
Our kinship
face.
ensures our victory.
But he does have that, like, battle-scarred, hardened look to him, which is kind of cool.
Cut him.
Alright. Let's get a couple more games in. So that way we have, like, that nice pool of matches, just to know how effective our deck's been. Alright, on the open, we got everything we're kind of looking for here, so we'll keep this. This is actually really great, because if the opponent doesn't... Oh, Bone Wave. I don't have a Bone Wave. We'll offer him a cheers. Alright. So, we actually have a great way to be able to protect Magda with Tamiyo's safekeeping here. And we also have just a great way to generate a bunch of treasures thanks to Big School. Alright, opponent seems to be white-green life gain. Might be a landfall token style deck. Alright. We'll go for Fable. And then next turn we should have enough to be able to use Magda here to be able to get ourselves our Goldspan. And yeah, as I thought, the opponent is a landfall style deck. They use Luminarch Veterans just to help sustain them. Oh no, I understand that definitely there, Indeed. Once when they are kind of the slow spell slinger deck that doesn't really do much. You know, I'm actually gonna discard Bugbear. See if we had anything else of value. Alright. Big score here. Oh, we just draw the Goldspan Dragon. Well, let's go ahead and activate. We'll sacrifice our treasures. Go get the Goldspan. I'll offer them a thanks. They are a very friendly opponent that we have here. Now, if the opponent tries to board wipe us, we have safekeepings to protect the gold span. A Ren and 7.
Come, 7. The entire forest is in
All right. Let's see, we'll take our turn. Innkeeper. Go for another Goldspan Dragon. Attack like so. We're forcing the opponent to have to be able to protect the Ren with the Lunarch Veterans if they want to keep it. You know, we'll just let the Goldspan Dragon die here. Because we can just pull another one out with Magda, and I'd rather hold safekeeping just in case our opponent does actually run board wipes. Yeah, actually, I did read your entire thing. I can sometimes read really fast. Because it was that you hate the people who do stuff and, you know, take forever to actually resolve their effects and then just spam emotes at you. I hadn't noticed that that was necessarily from people who usually play the partners, but I do occasionally come across them. And if I find them annoying, I just hit the mute icon on the opponent. That does it. You don't have to listen to the opponent if you don't want to. Let's see, I think we're okay here to just sacrifice 5. Get a gold span. We'll get a chariot. We don't have enough creatures on the ground really to aggress the opponent, so go for it like this. It's not at least give us chump walkers. I'm gonna actually send this one off to die. Someone's giving us the GGs. Okay, do not kill the veteran. Alright, so go ahead and give that the indestructible this time. The reason why I don't kill the Lunarch Veteran is because they can play this back from the graveyard and then have a flying blocker. But also, it means that the opponent can gain a lot of life just from it re-entering the battlefield. Our opponent goes for token. I thought they would have taken the +1/+1 counter vigilance for all creatures. Alright, no blocks. So they took the token because they wanted the 3 life. It's our turn. We will sacrifice. Get ourselves another Goldspan Dragon. Discard Big Scorn. Alright, this allows us to kill the Treeful. Alright, we will attack in they have a Ganjo? Alright, they have a Ganjo. That's unfortunate for us. Because that means that we'll only have 2 gold spans. So, 1 gold span left alive. Now, here's the thing. If the opponent had done a +1/+1 counter on all their creatures, we would not have been able to kill this. Alright, another veteran for our opponent is a burst of life for them. But, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If they have 9 mana. Oh, it's 10 mana. Alright, we do not kill any veterans here. We'll just take the damage from those. I will actually offer Isika's Chariot as a block to preserve life total. Because we can just use Monica to go get another Chariot. And there's the partners. Partners show up. And let's see, we copy. Combat. Counters here. Yep, and they give us a GG's because we have 10 in the air that they cannot block. At that point, we could also just, you know, swing all here because they don't have enough blockers, but it was still just this was the lethal. It was a good match against the opponent. I definitely appreciate their being as friendly as they were during that match. Like, their type of emotes that they were spamming were at least, you know, what felt like friendly ones. Well, no, actually, I could not do that, Izzy. The token that I make a copy of would still be forced to sacrifice at the end of turn thanks to Kiki Jiki, isn't it? Let me actually check the ruling on that. Well, I also didn't want to attack with that because it would do what I was worried about, because it kept holding back a Lunarch veteran, which was going to give them the flying blockers to interrupt us, as well as another life gain enter battlefield trigger. And they can also eat up the chariot when I do that. I'm just actually curious about the ruling on it. If they have a... Let's see, it doesn't copy... Let's see, nothing else. Unless to copy a creature token, that's a copy of something else. Copy creatures copying something else. There's so many rulings on Kiki Jiki that this is going to be difficult to find the exact ruling on that I'm looking for on this copy token. No, actually, I can't do that, because once when the attacks have already been declared, by the way, Izzy, So if I create a token that's a copy of a haste token, after attacks have been declared with Asika's Chariot, that means I've already declared all of my attackers, so that creature token wouldn't be able to attack. No, an easy way to do this would probably be just to, quickly duel Sparky and be able to find the exact answer to that. So I guess we can just go into a bot match real quick. I'm just doing this purely just to find out how the game's at least ruling it. Because it'll be faster than me trying to read through the, slog of information there. Alright, so we actually have Fable, we have Goldspan, we just need the Chariot.
Get ready for some friendly competition.
Playing against the red deck is actually one of the easier decks to play against when Sparky's doing this, for testing deck ideas. But yeah, so we're just going to quickly, against Sparky, just find out what happens with the Chariot combo. Alright, I'm just going to kill this. That way we can preserve our life total, because Sparky's just always going to attack every turn until you get something that can block. Alright, so we don't need backup partners, and I can get rid of safekeeping here. In fact, I drew another partner's kind of silly. Again, we're just trying to test the deck effect, so I'm actually not going to send any attackers if I can help it. Put the counters on Kiki Jiki to help prevent it from getting burnt out, and it uses Reduce to Ashes. Sparky, you're supposed to help me test deck ideas, so I need to be able to experiment by letting those cards exist. Alright. Well, we're just going to be here for a little bit. Sparky! Sparky's being very rude right now. Very uncooperative. Alright. We have the largest Despair Sentinel ever. Just to make sure I don't have to worry about taking no damage. Get rid of that. Good copy, gold spin. So yeah, still seeing last copy. Just a matter of drawing now. Hopefully we just hit like a big score, so that way we're moving into our card options that we need. Alright, there's Goldspan. This time put the counters on the Goldspan. Now it can't get hit by that 5 damage kill spell. Alright. Go for Magda. cast counters on it and try to grow it outside the range of their burn. Slowly build ourselves our treasures. Because we have to find... We just have to find Kiki Jiki at this point. Shame that we have to re-find Kiki Jiki since that's the easy card. Oh, I don't even have to... I can just pretty much just itself. I'm sorry, why did you do that? Was that an AFK? Was Sparky AFK checking us? Oh well. But yeah, no, again, we're just trying to find out the ruling. And how it works in this game. With Asika's Chariot and the Goldspan combo with just getting copied. Now, I'm fairly certain we actually just only needed Asika's Chariot and the... Let's see, is that an instant? No, it's a sorcery. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that burn spell. But I guess I'll still throw some counters on this just to make sure when we do eventually attack with it, they don't have like multiple instant burn spells to be able to toss to interrupt us. Come on, where's our reflections? I think what I'm going to do is start just pulling the dragons and such out of the deck. This way we can reduce our draw chances of like cards that we're not looking for. Come on, just give us the one card. We just need to see the one card, find out how this works. Because I'm fairly certain it works that we'll end up still losing the token at end of turn. Because we copy something that has like an imprinted ability on it that's been told to be sacrificed at end of turn. Alright. And I have to be careful not to kill Sparky, because Sparky's not blocking. big score, that helps, because we're just trying to dig. Those don't help. Our Magda is so huge. Before I draw, I'm going to pull the last card out of the deck that Magda can grab.
Cool.
Can I just go stage you my own card? No, I can't. This is just gonna take a while, unfortunately. Because Sparky had to be a punk and destroy one of our fables. And the other fable hasn't shown up and we're already halfway through the deck. There it is. Now, if it transforms and we go for the combo immediately because we can give it haste thanks to the partners, I'm going to be so annoyed. Like, if she's holding on to Sparky's holding on to a shot that didn't just decide to fire off because there's, you know, killable targets, it's going to be annoying. Okay. Just in case Sparky does have the thing I'm worried about, which is something to kill this. I'm gonna dig for the second one. Or third one, I mean. We're gonna have the biggest Magda ever. I just realized I've hit Sparky down just low enough that I can't test this with Goldspan Dragon. And we need to have something that can survive being the combat. This is going to be awkward. So... Actually, wait, no, I don't need to attack with the Goldspan Dragon itself. So, full control mode on, just to make sure I don't miss the timing. Create a copy of the Goldspan Dragon. Pay for it. So, we just attack with Chariot, and we'll see if we get to keep the token. Oh, it looks like you are right. We actually do get to keep the token. So, this one is got the ability to be sacrificed, but it will only sacrifice this one. So we actually do keep this Goldspan Dragon. Alright, so there we go. We learned something. It took a while. Alright. And just because, you know, Sparky decided to waste our time with, killing off our Kiki early, we are going to put Sparky in the dirt. Alright. There we go.
Nice job.
So it's nice to know how that ruling works. It means we can prepare some of our plays in the future around that. As Kiki will be around for a while longer, But while Chariot does fall into the other format, doesn't mean you can't use those still in the other formats. Alright, we're playing another game. We'll keep this. This equals a turn 3 Seeker's Chariot, so this can't be bad. Especially considering we have the ability to go for another lands to play another Chariot in the event that they destroy the first one. Alright, so we are against Naya Enchantments. And the thing about Naya Enchantments, the whole deck actually around with the exception of the runes. So Enchantments is still going to be a legitimate deck item. It just sadly you lose Runeforge Champion and all the runes. They were a strong combo, don't get me wrong. Alright. Go for the Chariot. Next turn we can't play Goldspan Dragon, but we plan on attacking him with Chariot anyways in a suicide attack. Unless they decide to like come at us with the Kami Transients, in which case I'll try to offer a block, but... Alright, opponent. You can stop running those runes. Come on. No more runes. Alright. Actually, what's better? Blocking with the 2 tokens or blocking with the Chariot? Actually, it's better to just block with the 2 tokens. Because then we can play Chariot. Keep the old Chariot. Use those as attackers. Alright, Tammy's Safekeeping is indestructible. With how they left the green mana open, I thought that was a possibility from our opponent, but... I'm sure it was still better to play the way we did. The difference is if I use the Chariot itself as a blocker, I'd actually have more cats for blocking with this turn. Does it have 4 cats? But our issue is going to be this Transients. We don't have an answer for it anymore, so it's a matter of we have to run faster than them and Reign of Truth. Why would you put that on the Naturalist? Why not just go for killing us? That +5 on either of these, we'd be devastated. Don't get me wrong, we're pretty devastated still, but... Alright. Alright, this is gonna be a little weird. Attack like this. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't matter how we do things, we're just still dead because of the second chapter. Same as the first. Yeah. Oh well. Let's see. Greed levels. How greedy are we? I'm very greedy. We'll keep it. Gonna go for the turn 2 Prosperous Innkeeper play. Because it has better chances of happening in case we, miss the land drop. Sorry, what is this? So we're getting some kind of aggro deck. Turn 2 can bring out both of these. Good old Lumer Conspire for our opponent. Go for Innkeeper. And go for Sentinel. The opponent sends Aspirant at us without growing it any further. I'm willing to try to give it triple block. The worst thing that probably happens to us is they put a Sky Maul on that. Alright. That's fine. Let's see, what do we get off the top? Do we get a burn spell? We do not. Alright, Gold Stand Dragon it is. We send the 4. Then we play Innkeeper off the treasure. I am worried that our opponent just can pass the turn and just transform the Cathar by playing 2 spells. Not afraid of the Apparition. Because it can't target Dragon. Dragon's 5 cost. So we could go... See, now if they just pass the turn and play both of those, that probably would be more of an issue to us. Alright, what do we get off the top? There you are. You didn't show up late. Just in time. Alright, we send the damage. Alright, the opponent has to come up with some kind of answer for the at least a dragon this turn. That is a answer. Now, does the opponent get reckless and attack with everything? Do we have a layer of the Hydra here? Okay, we only attack with 2. No blocks. That's lethal, right? Let me double check my mana. Two, 3, 4. Yeah, that's lethal. Good game, opponent. And we send it. If we really wanted to, we could have gotten an extra 2 damage to the opponent if it mattered. By declaring the attacks, and before they could declare blockers, use this to actually cast our spell, and pump the layer by an extra 2 more. But thankfully we didn't need to, have that level of precision required for what we did. Alright. Let's see. How are we on statistics for the deck? Deck is 8-3. So let's go to 15 games on this. before that, there's the ability to go over another card that was just recently spoiled. So let's see. Yep, so one of the new cards. Well, that's interesting how that happens. Suddenly just saw just a line of text shoot across like that. Wonder why it like. That was weird. I don't know what to say about that. It was really weird. In which case, the one of the new cards that I saw that was actually really interesting out of the stuff that they just revealed, Lagamos, Hand of Hatred. Now, this is a simple uncommon that is a 1/3 for 3. But at the beginning of combat on your turn, you get to create a 2/1 elemental creature token with trample and haste that you must sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So this is a perpetual just 2/1 that you just keep slamming at your opponent. And I think this is going to be a good enough card to run with what we currently have in the standard. And the thing is, we're not seeing Meat Hook Massacre rotate out of the format yet. So this means that we can play this with a Meat Hook just simply passively being on the board. Every turn we just get an attack in that potentially swings for 2 to our opponent's face and then sacrifices to do an extra point of damage to our opponent every turn. Now it also does have the ability to be tapped to search our library to put into our hand any card. So yeah, search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. The requirement is we have to have 5 or more creatures die this in a turn. Now, it doesn't specify that it has to be our creatures. So, again, Meat Hook Massacre means that we can go Meat Hook Massacre like X2. We don't kill Lagamos. We potentially board wipe our opponent of any type of tokens that they may have, because we're still seeing a lot of cards that aren't going to be rotating that will possibly be still seeing play in the form of like Wedding Announcement, Kaido, things like that. So we're potentially going to still see a lot of like 2 or 1 toughness cards that may clog a board, and if we sweep with an X2 type of thing, or even like the new -2/2 spells, we get to keep Lagamos. We get to see the board get swept up. We get to search our deck for any card. It means we can find ourselves a new threat card. We can find ourselves a new control card. Whatever we need. It's, I think, an amazing 2-drop to play. Or I'm sorry, amazing 3-drop that's an uncommon to play. So I think this is going to be one of those things that I'm going to try to find a deck for when it comes out. And I don't think I have to try too hard for it. That's what's great about it. Alright. Play a little more Grull Treasure. If there's any requests on a deck style you'd like to see played, give a shout out and I'll see what I can do. Alright, did anyone ask for some backup Magdas? I think I'll try keeping it. It's a crazy hand to keep. But we can go Magda, be able to attack in with it, play Fable. Alright, Ranger class for our opponent. The opponent kills Magda, we'll go for Fable regardless. Like, we're just playing Fable regardless here. But we're against werewolves. I'm trying to think if it's one of those things that we hit the block against that or not. Ooh, Seeker's Chariot. I think we go for the Chariot here, right? Yep. Go for Chariot. Gives us all these great tokens for jump blocking with. And if they attack it with Pax on top without doing anything other than a ranger class tick up to get it to 4 to attack with, we'll trade off the 2 cats against it. Because then we can bring out Fable of the Mirror Breaker, be able to tap both of them to crew, attack, and get a lot of value. Go to Royal Eruption right now. Alright. That means that we won't be able to kill the Paxon puppet if it attacks this turn. I will take out the other creature. Forces him to have to put a new wolf to the board. Or safekeeping. When those well-laid plans get, you know, foiled. Alright. So next turn I'm going to bring down a Gold Span, and we'll be able to generate ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4 treasures. So we can actually sacrifice those and bring out another Seeker's Chariot. No blocks, we'll take it. It's a risk taking that much of a hit. Rude. Discard, discard. Alright. Bring out Goldspan. Crew up. Copy. At this point, we sacrifice one of the treasures, play the Sentinel, offers a chump blocker. Let's see, if they kill the Sentinel and the token will be dead, but what's the odds that happens, right? We should be able to offer a chump block here, just to stay alive. Okay, that's not the death wish yet. Do they actually have a burn spell? If they did, we would actually be dead. No burn spell. Block the pump. We're at 1. Do they have burn? They do not. Goldspan Dragons definitely adds to the lethal here. Alright, yeah, and they scoop it off. That was a very dangerous line I took there, but it paid off. Now, you may be asking why I didn't just bring out the Magda and Legendary Rule to keep the untapped one as a blocker. Probably would have been smart. But I was thinking that if they held back for blocking, I wanted to be able to maybe just do an all attack, sacrificing this Magda, so that way we can get another Seeker's Chariot. This was before we knew we were drawing the other Goldspan Dragon. So it ended up working out in our favor, though. All right. Our neighbors are a little loud if you're getting them a little bit of noise through the microphone. All right. It seems like a great hand to keep. We'll keep this one. If we don't get disrupted on the Magda play or the Sentinel, the big score definitely gives a lot of value. Oh, I don't like it. It's white and black. They have all the types of spot removal and sweeper options. Yeah, Here comes the Exile Monocolored card, Vanishing Curse. Oh well. We can still play Big Score. Get ourselves our card draw. And at this point, we'll go ahead and discard a Sentinel here. So let's see. Opponent brings out a Nighthawk Scavenger. Okay. We'll go for green. Bring out Mirror Breaker. Tap for red. And Dragonfire. So that was actually a good thing for us to be able to get off the board because of his Flying Death Touch nature. And a lifelink would also be an issue too. Let's discard both. Partners is a good draw. Yeah, I trade this straight into the extra right away. That way, we can start actually attacking in and getting damage through. But more importantly, I wanted the extra treasure here. It also means if like our opponent goes like land, meat hook 3, we're not going to still have to deal with the Edgar on board. Alright, Warrior Sisters. They could choose a sacrifice, but give up the Sentinel. Possible that they just choose to draw. Yep. Gonna big score away the land. Ooh, Nistika's Chariot. That's a great draw. We don't plan on attacking with either of these. This allows us to hold up the 5 treasures, or 4 treasures. Crew, just off the tokens. I'm going to leave Kiki Jiki untapped. The reason why I want to leave Kiki Jiki untapped is it gives us the opportunity to avoid it getting hit by like a flashed-in Wanderer to exile it. Now, I say flash in, but I mean like they could just play a Wanderer main phase and get rid of it. Now, at this point, they probably would just get rid of the partners, but... Now, the opponent's not going to choose the sacrifice option on the Weird Sisters here. They're just going to choose the transform, because if they choose sacrifice, we just give up the cat. That's not going to hurt us at all. Kick that. They're going to get their flying vampire back. Well done, opponent. Now, do they attack with the fiends? The issue is we're dead in 3 turns based off their attackers from the air. Alright, play an Innkeeper. Can't really copy much for great value with Kiki Jiki here. I'm trying to think, like, do I just maybe copy Innkeeper, make a copy of it with Chariot? So that way I just get a huge burst of life. Alright. Crew, like so. I'm going to sacrifice the Chariot here. Counters on this cat, because I'm going to send this cat in too. Target a creature we control. Oh, no, I messed up. I meant to target here, and I made a mistake. I clicked my habitual, like, cat token target. Alright, so kill off the chariot. The issue is that I can now just still chump block with Edgar. Edgar will keep giving them 1/1s. They'll keep getting card draw, so it's not worth it for us to attack in at this point. See, if we could actually get ourselves like a Goldspan Dragon to be able to pressure them in the air, would be great. See, each creature with flying, death touch, or lifelink gets +1/+0. Basically all their creatures. Alright, well, we may as well bring out another Fable. Put some counters on a cat. Pass it back. Actually, should put the counters on the Jaspera Sentinel. Yeah, that was a mistake. Because the Jaspera Sentinel actually has reach. Alright, so opponent gets another Edgar, so they're just going to cycle Edgars now. In which case, we have to just start slamming at our opponent with the board. Let's see. We can actually use Kiki Jiki, make a copy of Sentinel here to give us a chump block. Just to protect our life total. Hunter's gonna gain a ton of life. Let's see. Alright, we can discard this to the Fable. To find another land is not good. Let's see, how many big scores did we play? We've played 2 of them. Did I put 2 or 3 in the deck? I think I put 3 in the deck. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Might have only been 2. We'll still hold the land anyways as a bluff. Currently have the opponent sitting back patiently, so start building up the blocker for the potential other air attacks. Vanishing Burst, that's... I honestly thought they would use that against Kiki Kiki over the Sentinel. that's still kind of bad. Alright. So we get another easy chump block here, but next turn we're going to be in trouble. If we can survive next turn, we can do the Fable combo with each other. They still attack here, just that way they gain 7 life. Alright, so the move to end step. We can use Field of Rune, pop this. Dectins as a land. They're gonna get themselves a swamp, but this requires double black, so I might as well just hit it now. Get another red source. I was not hoping for a land. That was like the last thing. I was literally taking a land out of the deck to reduce my all to drop one. Alright. Let's see here. Counters here. Alright. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 with 6 of them, so 13. 13 times 2. Effectively have 26 damage worth of tokens that we can generate with Kiki, but they have so much life gain that it's not going to do a dent. So yeah, they probably should just attack all air. They have so much health, it's obscene. Alright. No blocks. Okay, so this combo will give us a bunch of life back if it gets to resolve. Opponent has some kind of interaction. I'm not sure what it is. Should actually start targeting the tokens. That way if they decide that they actually do have interaction they want to use, it's not gonna interrupt what we have going on now. So all of these Kiki-Jikis are going to be on our board until the end step. One thing we actually could do is we could turn all of these into buffers and keepers. Get ourselves a ridiculous amount of life back. But also get, effectively, all of our mana back to be able to redo this whole combo. We're only going to sacrifice 1 treasure. Buy more land. Alright. End steps. Stop. Counters. Cat. No attacks. Move to end step. All these triggers are on the stack. Activate. Target. Resolve. I have to make sure not to hit resolve all. Activate. Target. Resolve. I don't know how I won! I honestly don't know how I won that. The opponent still had the advantage. But we win. Awesome. I mean, if we're trying to figure out what I was doing, I was going to turn all of these and the treasures into... Oh, wait. Yeah. Well, as much as this as I could into Innkeepers, holding these two back available again. So we would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more encounters here of Innkeeper, which would have just had this ripple effect of extra life gained, and we would have gotten a nice stack of treasures as well. And then once we move to the end step, like I was saying, we'd just be able to, on our opponent's turn, do the same thing again. Now, our opponent did have an opportunity to use a Vanishing Verse one time against a Kiki, and we would have been in a very different game if they chose to do that. But they just also sat super passively in the air against us, and we got to hard punish them for it. All right. Well, let's see. I mean, that was a really interesting way on how to take a win from an opponent. Oh, I'm not sure if you're still here though, but Arusho, I know you were here earlier tonight. I did notice that there was a card in the spoilers that I think you'd actually potentially like. Because I know how much you love taking over people's cards. And this card right here, the Voldalian Mind Singer, is a new card that's going to be coming out that I think you might be interested in. Now, granted, this card, it does require you running red or green or a mix of them to really take advantage of this card. But when this enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield 2+1/+1 counters for each time it was kicked. This means that you're looking at a 3-drop 2/2 that when it enters the battlefield, you gain control of target creature with power, with a creature with power less than Mindsinger's power. So you can steal a 1 power or a 0 power card from our opponent. If we manage to play it as a 5-drop, we can steal anything of 3 or less from our opponent. And lastly, we have the opportunity to play it as a 7-drop and steal anything of 5 or less from our opponent. Now, if we do have any passive things on the board that pump our creature, it does allow us to steal a wider range, but I think this is going to be a card that's going to be interesting for the format. I'm not sure how effective it's really going to be, but I think this is something that it's like if you're a blue deck that happens to be running green or happens to be running red, it might be a side deck card. But I think that it could be also something interesting to build in a main board also. Because it's just going into the main board, you're still looking at the fact that you're like spending 5 mana and of any blue-green or blue-red deck, and being able to get a 4/4 that steals anything of our opponents that's 3 or less until this 4/4 goes away. I think that's a good enough value. And against aggro decks that might be running a fair number of 1-power creatures, stealing those things could still be good as just a solid 3-drop 2/2. All right. Well, with that, we have actually done a pretty good job with our deck, because we were trying to show off. Let's see, where did my stats sheet go? Here it is. Hit the refresh button. Let's see, currently 8-3. I didn't record one of them. I didn't record the most recent one. I know that much. That's a shame. But yeah, so for the deck, it actually is doing pretty well here. Can't quite see the. There we go. So as you can see, we ended up going 8-3 with the matches on the deck, according to the tracker. But I know it's missing at least the last game that we played. So overall, the deck has great potential in games. And if you look at the on play and on draw, we definitely dominate on the play here. On the draw, it's a little awkward because we don't really do anything too aggressive early on, and getting the Jaspera Sentinel Brazen Outlaw combo, it always just better for us if we can do this on the draw, so there's less chance for our opponent to interact with it. And I think we had a really tight build on the deck here. Now, we stopped really seeing these questioners drawn in the like halfway through the game tonight, but they still provided a lot of value to the deck when we did play them. And if you're looking for a deck, then you have these cards before they rotate out. It's going to do well for you. It brought us up to Diamond 1, so like we're Diamond Tier 1, 2 wins in. If we want to, we probably could push to Mythic with this. Alright. Well, with that done, let's see. Any requests for a deck idea that you'd like to see played? Trying to think, like, what's a deck idea that's going to be rotating out that I'd like to play some more before. Oh, that's right. We have this old deck. So, this was a deck idea that it's going to rotate soon because we actually play off of Galzith Prismari primarily. And actually, let me up this. Go down one of these. Actually, no, I think I kind of need to keep that up. Go down one of those. There we go. So, if you're not familiar with this deck idea, we kind of did this one before because it was a fun Spellslinger style deck. And I think I'll just play a couple rounds of this to wrap up the night. So we have one of Arcane Bombardment in the deck because it's not really our true focus. Our true focus is actually just being able to play things like Vampire's Kiss multiple times, so we're using Galvanic Iteration, get ourselves a whole bunch of drain that way. But we're also using this as a way to create blood tokens, which we'll use to generate mana thanks to Galzith Prismari. And we actually Spellslinger drain our opponent to death thanks to Professor Onyx here, because of the passive Magecraft that whenever we cast in or copy an instant spell, we make our opponent lose 2 life and we gain 2 life. We run a One of Leer to allow us to play cards back from our graveyard. And we run the Bombardment here, so that way we can also potentially recast all of our cards from our graveyard as well. Other cards to help us get a little drain action, we're using some Invoke Despair. And that's our primary win conditions. We'll jump into games and show how well it works. Lack of black mana, but I think this one's still keepable, so we'll try it. Alright, visitor for our opponent. We'll just land pass. Just gonna put visitor back in our opponent's hand with the Fading Hope. Oh, there's our black risk we were looking for. Actually, just gonna shoot off the Vampire's Kiss right away. The reason is, this way, once when we play Prismari, if we have any other castable spell, we can still potentially cast it because we'll have access to 3 mana. Mitch goes Rain of Shriek for our opponent. Fortunately, I think we're going to be turn slow here. I'm wondering if I have to maybe sacrifice one of these treasures to have an interaction with the opponent. Doesn't activate Ranger class. Okay, because they're going for Catilda. Let's see, they're representing 10 damage, lethal because of that. Alright, it's gonna be a case of we need a top deck for an amazing card here. Have a do or die situation, and unfortunately our opponent usually runs a lot of enter battlefield, exile a card type enchantments. Yep, there it is, and that will be good game. That's unfortunate. Did I click best of 3 by accident or something? Oh no, I went to the main screen. Good. Well, actually, I have a side deck set up, so I could have worked in best of 3. It's a shame we didn't get any of our real interaction against our opponent's creatures. We just drew 2 Professor Onyxes. Like, we had one in the open, which was a little worried about, and we drew a second one. Really? I mean, yes, we want to draw you, but not until later in the game. Alright, mulligan. Keep this one. We'll put the Invoke Despair on the bottom. Yes. Alright, so we're going to red white magic. Leave the black-red land. Alright, well, that's gonna die. Smashing could actually come in handy against this opponent if we can get Galset to actually stick to the board. Ooh, that's alright, so we can play this. That'll prevent it from going to Knight. Play this on red. Pass it back. Another Cavalier unfortunately hits us down super low. We are just dead on board. That might save us. Pass it back. We'll see what happens here. This opponent could just have Burn in hand. That is a GG situation. Let's actually just play this, see if we can draw something a little better for us. Not really, but we'll still kill that. We'll get the GGs. Ah, the fact that our opponent just had pure gas, unfortunate. We'll take this down. We'll go down swinging at least. Yep. We're just a turn away from being able to try to stabilize on that board. As well as issues like if you're playing a control deck and you come against an aggro deck and they just come at you swinging every single like turn with optimal mana usage, you don't have the interaction against it. Well, you're just gonna have a bad time. All right, it's awkward. I'm gonna hit mulligan. I'm gonna keep this one. We'll actually put Lear on the bottom. Lead with this. Yeah, we have a better idea of what we might be able to play off the next couple lands. I'll go for the blue source here. We don't have anything except for the one enchantment that requires double red. Alright, opponent's turn. Put you back in hand. Put you on the bottom. Alright, we get the Prismari support. We have the ability to use Fleeting Hope to protect our Prismari. So I think we're going at somebody who's trying to do a maybe Rogue Ninja deck. Or it could just be black-blue control that is using Top Piece. Okay. So that way they can play... Oh shoot, what is the name of that legendary creature? I think it's Sarathon or something like that. Oh, there goes our removal spell, unfortunately. Alright, bring this on black. Bring this back to the board. And we'll... no, I want to hold on to that. Because we can use this with the Kiss. Get ourselves a ton of blood, which is effectively a ton of mana. Our opponent's not going to have any permanents to steal from our graveyard if they are the deck I think they are, with the exception of Galzeth Prismari. Okay, so Binding Palm Ninja comes down to the board, that's fine. Okay, so let's see, we can do this, we can flash it back. It's a little bit of a risk going that greedy on it, but... because we leave ourselves completely tapped out. We have no protection for Prismari right now. Alright, we don't get punished. Now, the reason why I say I could potentially get punished is because they have a mana open. We know they run Fading Hope, so they could have potentially bounced that back to our hand. Okay, so I'm going to use an Iteration here, and I'm going to Bounce. And bounce. I'll leave Shatter Skull on top. Because I figure they're going to attack with the Soaring Copy anyways. I'm fine with losing that spell. Alright, cool. We got a land mill also, but you're another land. Alright, I still play the land out because it is land number 6. This way we can play the Liliana, or Professor Onyx, easily enough. Alright, Infernal Grasp is sad times. Okay. So we can iterate the Baleful Mastery, exile and stuff. I'm going to let them do their attack. Wait for them to do damage, because there is a chance they try to flash in the one creature after blocks are declared. And I want to hit that with the Baleful Mastery specifically. Yep, there's my target. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and iterate this. We lose one treasure for this, but we get rid of both of these threats. Now, it would have been a problem because they did mill an Onyx. Oh my gosh, can you not deck? Alright, go for Bombardment right now. Because the opponent was tapped out. They have the hardest time dealing with that being on the board.
You're really trying to find yourself. I have some secret information about where you are. Where? You are a poor, misguided little girl who got herself all tangled up about sex. Who wrote a poor...
Alright, Biting Palm Ninja for our opponent. Ooh, that's a great draw. Do you have an answer, opponent? Because even if you have an answer to that, the question is, do you have an answer for what we hit with Bombardment? Alright, we get the Kiss, which is just extra drain for our against our opponent. Alright, card draw. Pass it back to the opponent. We can't play Big Score right now, but Big Score is going to be a big card for us. And, yep, that's enough to send the opponent packing. There we go. Yeah, the opponent got greedy. The moment they saw they had an attack in, they felt that they could try to reanimate one of our cards. And we were just had the perfect punish for it. We were in top deck mode, so I can understand the opponent thinking that they were maybe safe for it. But that's why if you're going for a Xerath style build and you're playing against control, you have to be very cautious about when you go for it. Alright, on the open, this one's keepable. Let's see, so we lead with Giants, go for this on black. Place on red. Potentially use Baleful Mastery for 2, which would give our opponent a draw, but it's better sometimes to be able to give our opponent a card draw than let them have access to certain things, like that. Goodbye, Ring Crab. I do not want to deal with you. What is it? How do I go against mill decks and it's always double Rune Crab? Like, I had an answer for your Rune Crab. Alright, well, we go land and we pass. We just have to hope that we don't get milled out too much on our lands here. So we can bring down Prismari command or Galz's Prismari. From there we can go for Lear, maybe? Well, there goes two of the Professor Onyxes. A third rune grab. Oh man, this opponent. Yeah, we'll go for Prismari. Now the question is, do we go Shatter Skull smashing, burn ourselves for 3, try to resolve Bombardment? So we can make use of these spells from our graveyard. We are not going to win this one. Opponent just... They managed to get the fetch lands with Rune Crabs. The fact they got 3 Rune Crabs in total. I do not feel like this is our match to win. Alright, I'm going to poke for the 3 real quick. I'm gonna go for Lear. Try to potentially resolve this. If they were relying on Jawari's Disruption, we can pay the 1. But saying spells can't be countered means that we know that we can interact with the opponent a little bit. Oh. Alright, invoke Despair. Don't care for the reset. Leave it on top. Because they're going to play another land more than likely. Yep, there it is. It's the weirdest thing is I'm just hoping to draw another land so that way we can maybe double spell here. Unfortunately, that was not a land. They only have 1 mana open. I'm going to test to see if they have Spell Pierce. They do not. Alright. The question is, do they combo us to death right now, or do we get a turn to potentially interact with this board? Because they don't actually have to combo us. They probably can just straight up play. Yeah, there's the combo. Good game. That's 16 cards off the top of our deck. Freaking heck. Rune Crab. That's actually one of those things, Mill would have actually gotten a great support spell from this new set, but sadly, they're going to lose all their main cards. They're going to lose Tasha City's Laughter, they're going to lose Maddening Cacophony. And with the loss of both of those cards, I don't think Mill... Oh, and they're also losing Rune Crab, so with the loss of those 3 cards, I don't think Mill is going to work. I'm not that greedy. I'm greedy enough for this one. Alright. Let's give the opponent a kiss. That way we can maybe discard draw to try to find our lands. Or we can just find them naturally. That's always good. It foretells something. I'm gonna discard iteration. Okay. Go for Prismari. Hold the Fading Hope as protection. Edgar for our opponent. That's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and dig score main phase, and we will give up Shadow's Verdict. Pass it back to the opponent. Alright, Bug goes for Doomscar. We just bring back Prismari. Treasure. We will iterate the Kiss. Get a lot of blood. Pass it back. At this point, we can cast any spell that we draw off the top of our deck because of all the extra treasure and blood for it spells that we have. If we draw Professor Onyx, it would be great. Not the case. We'll actually go ahead and just discard the land here. Alright, I don't want to give up too much of my blood right away. Alright, I sent the attack in. The opponent seems to have some kind of interaction for 3. Back. That denies the opponent the life gain, which is why I bounce it back. I was thinking about just letting it go away if they went for a removal spell. Because we had another Prismari in hand. Offer the block. One's just, I guess, going in for the attack. Oh, because they're going to Doomscar. Okay. In that case, let's do a discard here. Alright, we're just going to... Alright, so let's see here. Use this on blue. Bring out Prismari. Invoke some Despair. We got the Professor Onyx in multiples. Yep, you can hit that. My face is definitely a place to get hit. Unfortunately, we just keep hitting lands, but... Go for plus.
That's Professor Onyx to you.
Take the Infernal Grasp.
Never thought I'd miss the library.
Do a discard draw here. Alright, so double Infernal Grasp means we can protect Onyx. We can also deny our opponent some life gain.
You started this fight, but I'm going to end it. Let your blade do the talking.
They play Professor Onyx of their own. Interesting.
Witherbloom is just as dark and musty as I remember.
Let's kill this. And let's kill this. So the opponent had an opportunity to crew Banquet. We take it away from them. We let Edgar
Learn the power of
hit
death.
Onyx. The most he can hit for is 5. So we can still use the +1 on Onyx, dig ourselves to a spell, and it doesn't matter what spell we find, we can play, and that kills our opponent.
We must protect the people.
The odds of us going 6 cards deep without finding any spell that we can play that can kill our opponent,
To the detention box.
very unlikely. And yeah, there we go. GG's. 2 damage, and we create a treasure. So, Prismari Command doesn't even get to do the 2 damage to kill them. We just killed them because of the cast trigger. But there we go, we got a nice show of the Drain game. Let's just play a couple more rounds of this. If there's any requests for any type of deck, or if you have any questions, always just feel free to shout something out and I'll do what I can to help you out. I'm mainly playing this deck right now just because I know I won't be able to play it in the standard rotation, because it's going to be falling out. Now, I could actually make an Explorer variation of this, but I'm not sure how well I can make the deck work. Alright, this is a key. So, we go for the land, play Kiss, drain the opponent. Then we can use Deadly Dispute to sacrifice on Treasure. Gives us a lot of value. Alright, opponent just goes for the level of the land because they apparently missed the land drop. Well, we'll just sacrifice this, get some card draw, pass it back. We can now bring down Prismari. We'll be able to even have enough mana to use Kiss, but not enough to big score. I'm not entirely sure why the opponent didn't play anything else. I guess they just had nothing but high-cost cards. In which case, that's a sketchy keep for our opponent. Oh well. I was actually really hoping to be able to show off like Shadow's Verdict sweep against like a mono green deck, but it didn't happen. They could have also been a multicolor deck and just saw that they had just the need to only draw one more color, just one land of any color for the, like, just, let me rephrase it, just one mana of the other color and just be able to play their whole hand. And it was just apparently too greedy. Alright, this hand is not exciting. We will mull this one. This one we'll keep. We'll put Onyx on the bottom. Alright, land pass. At this point, we can... Let's see, I'm trying to think what's more important. We'll just go land, pass to the opponent, see what they do. Alright, they're going to go straight to combat. We'll put this in the hand now. Kind of want to keep the land. land for turn. Going to kill this right now and create a treasure. Oh, Spellbinder. That's rude. Let's see. What do they do? I'm kind of hoping that they tax Mastery, because that can Galvanic Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the treasure here. Get ourselves a bunch of card draw value. But sadly, that is not meant to be. I'll bring this on black. Pass it to the opponent. Take the 3. Opponents. Why you gotta be like that? Alright. They hit the Deadly Dispute. Alright. Land, pass to the opponent. Even if they hit the Shadow's Verdict from our hand, we most likely can still play it. We'll just sacrifice this card draw. They can't play another Spellbinder at this point. Alright, thank you, opponent, for bringing another creature to the board. It makes this Shadow's Verdict that much more powerful. Opponent's turn. Redain. Can't do anything about the Redain right now. Pass it to the opponent. Gonna take 2 from the opponent's Redain attack. I'm gonna use Prismari Command to do a draw 2, discard 2. Where are you gonna put that maul? Yeah, I'm still gonna do the draw 2, discard 2. Okay, so draw 2, discard 2, destroy the Sky Maul. Discard, discard. Gals at the board. See, with that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we can play Onyx. Alright, that's rude. If they have a land, we lose, but this is still our best play. The reason why I say we lose if they get a land is because they can activate Cave of the Barrow Dragon here. Ooh, wait. I'm gonna fire this off right now. Now, we'll wait until it's their turn. I might be able to play around something this way. Alright, see, we were able to play around the card because we waited. So, 2 damage, destroy an artifact. So, patience definitely pays off. Alright, Sun Gold Sentinel for our opponents. Let's see, if we minus this, it goes down to 2 loyalty. bring these to the board.
Welcome to Witherbloom College, class.
Go for the plus. Grab bombardment.
I have
Fire off the
impeccable
kiss right away. I use the kiss right away just that way I can try to protect our life total a bit here. Alright. The opponent does actually hit the land for the Frost Dragon. We get to kill Sungold Sentinel. Problem is these will kill off Onyx. Now if I played Onyx, did the minus, Onyx would still die, and I would have been maybe not as deep into finding a card I needed. So I think that, you know, was a good reason why we did what we did.
Thank you for all the kindness.
Bombardment to board. Pass it to the opponent. Alright, opponent's just... Alright, they're giving this GG. Alright, Infernal Grasp, yeah, that definitely helps us seal up a GG here. Still destroy this in response, at least get one spell trigger out of this. Oh, and it was a good one. Alright, we don't have anything we can play here. Discard draw. Alright, Call allows us to pressure them lethal. So we keep it. Spellbinder, that doesn't do anything against us. Fire it up. Attack in. Just offer them the cheers even here because I don't think they have anything that they can play that's going to save them. Yep. For fun, we can just sacrifice this for some card draw. And we'll let you have another card. There we go. All right. Well, that was a fun little set that we were able to play there. If you're interested to see the deck list of what we were just playing, I'll have that on the screen here right now. So this was the Grixis Drain deck. And as you can see, it doesn't always really work consistently, but it is a fun little combo deck. Is my tracker not working? My tracker broke. Oh wait, let me check something real quick. Was I playing in ranked? I was playing in ranked, right? Oh no, we weren't in the ranked queue. Oh man, I thought I was playing ranked. Oh well. So when I probably went to do a test on a deck, by hitting bot match to see if we were. I just wanted to check interaction with Mirror Breaker with Chariot, and I forgot to set it back to the ranked queue after that. So we ended up playing the red-green deck up a bit more than I probably realized. Because we played like three games after that. All of them were wins, so they didn't get added to the tracker, but they weren't ranked matches, even though we were playing against things that were part of the meta. But this one we played a couple games. They weren't ranked, but the thing is, we did play against a number of decks that were still meta-defining decks. Some of them weren't, but it was a lot of fun still. I hope you enjoyed watching it. The deck, unfortunately, a lot of the key parts to this are going to be rotating. Professor Onyx and Galzeth Prismari are what I mainly built this around. Now, you could still do an Arcane Bombardment deck instead of the Professor Onyxes and play Lear. Use most of the cards we have here, but it's just you'll have to, you know, get different replacement options for some of these removal spells, which is perfectly fine. But, in any case, I hope you enjoyed that matchup there. Let's see, what time is it? It's 8:02. With it being that time, let's go ahead and get ready for a wrap-up here. And with that, we can go play ourselves a little bit of the Magic Wordle. If you're not familiar with that, it's a fun little game that you try to guess what card is the card of the day. It's going to be something magic related. Why is that not? Alright, gotta see if I can switch the... Alright, excuse me while I switch the browse capture. I need to try to switch which browser it's looking at. Doesn't seem to want to easily switch. Hello? Somebody over there. Alright, here we go. There we go. And we got ourselves a little world fun. So if oh geez, let me do something real quick. 1 second. Okay, I swear I'm not the one terrorizing the neighbors, as you might have heard some of the kids' squeals out there. All right. So, if you're not familiar with Wordle, the goal is to guess a 5-letter word that's related to Magic the Gathering, and try to guess it before we use up all the options here. I'll use a quick word to give you an example. Let's see. There you go. Oh, I hit the wrong button. So we know that the word is going to use an E and a T somewhere in there. But we know that they're not going to be in those columns. If you have any suggestions on what you think the word is, feel free to shout them out. We can work it out together. But we know that it doesn't have an H, an A, or a D. Let's see. I'm trying to think what word related to magic. Because it can really be any vague word. It can also be the name of any of the, you know, characters from the game. But it has to be 5 letters long. So this is actually, I think, one of the harder ones to do out of these Wordle games, because of the it doesn't really give you any clues like some of the other ones do. Alright, so let's see. Trying to think like what words have T and E in them that we can use. Let's see. We know that the E is not going to be the second letter. Actually, it makes things a little harder because I'm trying to think like what words that's like, okay, E's not, the 5-letter words that E's not like used in like the second letter slot that has a T in it. Like I could think of words that's like, hey, there's fetch, but we can't use this because we know that it doesn't have the H and also the E's in the wrong spot. So it doesn't really help us build up a way to figure out what the word is better. Let's see. Token. Oh, there we go. I didn't expect to get that quickly. I thought I'd have to take another shot at it, but there we go. So apparently the word of the day for us was token. Let's see. So we do also have another variation of this. We have Commander Codex, which it's a matter of trying to guess which commander it is. And we'll get hints off of which one we choose. So if we start off with Omnath, I always tend to start with Omnath just because it's the one I can always remember that's in the list. And this is going to be off the top 300 or 500 commanders that you can play with. Alright, by guessing this Omnath, we know that the card is going to have less than 6 added together power and toughness. It's more recent than this one. We know that it has at least one of these colors involved in it. And we also know it's less than 4 mana. So, let's see, what... This is M20. Let me actually take a look at this, because it's great for visualizing what sets are after it. Alright, so M20 means that it's very new. So we also know it's going to be 3 or less. If I hit view cards here, we can actually get a list of all the cards that have ever been printed. And you know, let's go ahead and guess Eureka, the Tiger Shadow, and it'll help. How do you spell it? Eureka. Well, guess this card. Okay, so we know it doesn't have the blue, it doesn't have black. We know that it's... Oh, this was actually an older card? Oh, geez. I thought Eureka was a newer card. It has less power and toughness than 4? What is this card? We also know that the mana value is less than 3. So it's a 2 or 1 drop. That actually narrows things down a great deal. Because I'm actually trying to think like, oh, there's Sethis. Sethis is newer, so that one could be the answer. So let's try Sithis. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. And it looks like that's it. Alright, so there we go. We managed to get 2 of them done. So we managed to guess this one in 3. We guessed token in 2. So our last one is when you try to just guess a random card throughout the entirety of Magic. So let's see here. What would be a good one to start with? I'm just going to start with an old Jace card. Well, we know that it apparently is a mono blue card, right? It's more than 3. It's not a rare, so it's not going to be a planeswalker. But it's also older than Lorwyn. Alright, so more expensive uncommons that are older than Lorwyn. Squallmonger. Don't ask me why that one came to mind. Oh, Squallmonger's in green. But the thing is, I got the fact that it is still older than Mercadia Masquez. Oh wow, this is a very old card. We know it's a creature. But this is what we're playing with, is just for the sets of cards here. That's how old this card's going to be. We also know it's going to be a CMC 4. Now this is going to be difficult. Anyone's got a guess on what this card could be? Feel free to shout out really old, uncommon blue creatures. I honestly thought Squallmonger was the blue one. I mixed up which one was the right card. I didn't remember it costed 4 though. Let's see. Trying to think what are old uncommons that are blue. I have to think of something maybe from these sets here. I'm actually trying to rack my brain for uncommon blue cards that are just super old and specifically cost 4 mana. Let's see. There was an old card from what's it called? Exodus, I can remember, called like, it's a flying fish card. Maybe it's that one. It's Mirozil or something. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so it's even older than Exodus. It's not an illusion. I name something older back here, maybe. Still open to any guesses from the audience. If you have anything in chat, feel free to shout it out, because yeah, these are gonna be hard cards to remember. Oh no, it's not an illusion, so I know it can't be that card. I just remember that was like something that was called like illusionary forces, and I just remember we already used illusion in our last one, Miracell. Honestly, I wasn't sure that one was a illusion once when I suggested it at first. Oh, there's an old Ice Age card. Silver, Silver Urn. There it is. Okay, so it's not a bird, but it's somewhere between Exodus, somewhere between Ice Age. I know this will kind of do up to 3 nearby, so it's probably something from Visions, Portals, or Weatherlight. So between those, probably going to be a Visions card, more likely, right? So which creature types did we guess so far? We've guessed Bird, Illusion, Monger, and Planeswalker Jace. Maybe it is a Breezekeeper. Oh, I just realized it's apparently not an uncommon. It's was common. And I'm still not in the right set, so it's got to be Portal or Weatherlight. So I was guessing in the wrong kind of venue still, once I was guessing it was uncommon. I don't know why I thought it was correct on uncommon there. So probably Portal, right? If it's Portal, common cards. Unfortunately, Portal's got a ton of commons. And most of them are bad commons. Maybe it's just like a giant octopus then? Or Snapping Drake? Alright, it's not the Snapping Drake, it is in Portal. That only leaves Giant Octopus, I think. Yep, there it is. One of those original beginner intro cards, as they had the old Sword and Shield to help people identify what the attack and defense of a card was. I do actually remember when I got into Magic, our parents actually ended up picking us up a thing of Portal, knowing that it was, because it was advertised as the you know, get into the game. Here's the thing for beginners. So it was actually kind of cool. But there we go. We managed to find our 3 Wordles of the day. Now, it definitely took us a lot more on this one. Previous times we were able to get down to like 4 or 5. So we took 2 more than usual. Commander Codex, we did really quick. And I was surprised how fast we did the Mox Field. I hope everyone enjoyed this for the night. We'll send everyone off on a raid. If you have any suggestion on who you'd like to go see, feel free to shout it out. Otherwise, I'm just going to go see who is online at the moment. Let's see. Give me 1 second while I also adjust this. Let's see, who is here? Let's see. Let's go hit up a person called Wizard138. They are doing some drafting. Person does do a pretty good ability with it, and they seem to be having a fun time with chatting with another person at the same time there, so you'll have a little more conversation going on. But in any case, thanks everyone for joining me for the night. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I know there's not many of us for the raid, but might as well go send some good cheer to another one of the other streamers here. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a nice night, and we'll hopefully see you next time. Take care, everyone.